Welcome to your Learning A to Z Session 9. This is geared toward kinder through second grade teachers, and this is part of your Prosper ISD 2016 Spring Webinar Series. And today we're going to be focusing on Reading A to Z's Balanced Literacy component entitled Shared Reading. We will begin by logging into Reading A to Z to that home site. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to take a look into our resources area, and we will go into the first drawer entitled the books drawer, and then as we scroll down, we come to the portion entitled shared reading, and this is the resource that we're going to focus on today. When we click on shared reading, as any other resource area within this site, it brings up a page that will give you information regarding whatever resource that you're in, and today we're in shared reading. You'll also notice that there is a More About link, and when you click on that More About link, it's going to give you some information regarding why you would want to use shared reading, and also some suggestions on how to use it. And then within this More About link for shared reading, there's a portion called projectable book characters. And these projectable book characters, as we look at one of the types of projectables that's available in shared reading, these are the characters that you will encounter when you use this particular resource that is called projectable book with characters or with prompts. And each one of these characters, starting with the book expert, the caterpillar, will appear, and each one of these characters will be having the students, through your guidance, do particular tasks associated with the book, so that this is another opportunity for them to see how and why they should be doing some close reading within that. So this is where you would retrieve those particular little miniature posters on each one of those book characters. All right, well, back to the home page. And we also see that within this shared reading section, in addition to that information in the More About link, you also have a tips video that will give you a brief overview of what shared reading is all about. You will also notice that you have 3 divisions in the levels that are being offered to you in this resource. Level 1 will be your K through first grade, and then on up to level 2, first and second, and then level 3, second and third. And today we're going to take a look specifically at the one entitled Fun Fish in that first level. So I'm going to open that up. All right, before we actually dive into this and take a look deeper into what these resources look like, I want to just remind you that this particular resource, Shared Reading, is going to support your balanced literacy instruction, and it will give you, the teacher, the opportunity to model close reading. It will also give you the opportunity to instruct students on text-dependent questioning, and also providing them with strategies for asking and answering questions using the projectable big book and your 5-day lesson plan. All right, when you utilize the optional projectable book with prompts, this is going to be another way for you to engage your students into some further discussion about the book, and it will give them an opportunity to actively participate during your instruction and allow them to practice citing evidence in support of their answers. So the first thing that we're going to look at in our book resources, we're going to look at just the projectable book itself. And when we open that up, of course, this is where your students will have that opportunity to see this book in full color. It'll be up nice and large, either on your projectable interactive whiteboard, which you would have tools on there, or it may be that you don't have an interactive whiteboard, and that's all right as well, as long as you can project through an LCD projector hooked up to your computer. And we see that when you bring this up, you can also take it to full screen, which will increase the size so that the student should be able to see everything, whether they're in the front of the room or towards the back. All right, well, as you move through the material, you'll note that some of the pictures that are here might be small. And if you wanted to use the tool over here called the framing tool, you could choose the show and place that little quilt square, it looks like a quilt square, right over the area that you would like to increase in size. And then go up to the upper left-hand corner of that square that you have created, and then bring it up nice and large for your students to be able to see. All right, another opportunity in using this type of framing would be to place the actual text within that square and then bring that up nice and large, so then you can use that to do some echo reading or some close reading or choral reading, depending on where your students are in the reading process. All right, so that's just an example of one of the tools that you might want to use. Also, you will have a drawing pen in multitudes of colors. You can choose whatever it is, the color that you want. You also have highlighters in a multitude of color choices as well. And then you also will have your text tool that allows you to choose varying colors. And when you create that text box, and you'll see it's reminding me to go out of full screen so that I can actually type right in that text box. And this gives you an opportunity also to brainstorm or, add other types of text information that you might want to share with your students. And then you have various stamps that you can use, and you also have a different type of framing tool, but I'm going to wait and show you that when we go over into the other type of projectable. All right, so in using this wonderful full color experience, it's like having the ultimate big book in your classroom. So this is very exciting to have this opportunity to bring these wonderful resources in full color to your students. All right, well, we're going to leave this type of projectable at this time. And then we're going to take a look at the 5-day shared reading lesson plan that goes along with your regular projectable book. So when we open up our 5-day shared reading lesson plan, and we're going to bring that up so that we can see it. All right. All right, this is what your 5-day lesson plan looks like. It is laid out quite easy to immediately see what you're going to be doing each day of instruction. It has your skills that you're going to be working on right over here on the left-hand side, and you can see that it ranges from not only, helping your students with print concept, but then all of the others types of skills that are supported, comprehension, shared writing, and then some suggestions for home connection. So each of those days, you're going to be shown on the skill what you will be doing on each day of the week. And then as you move down in this lesson plan, it gives you each day a complete set of information that you can use as you work through this book. And you can see that it will also remind you of what particular skills you're going to be working on over there in the left-hand side in the blue strip. And then as you move on down, each and every day will give you that information so that you will easily be able to be completely ready and prepared with this lesson plan, and you won't have to worry about writing that lesson plan yourself. All right, and if you had to have a substitute, it would be an easy way for them to be able to continue instruction so that you would not miss a day of instruction for your students. All right, so that's your 5-day shared reading lesson plan. Now, let's go back to the book. To the book, and note that it is in printable format as well if you do wish to print off copies for your students. All right, but the projectable book with prompts, let's take a look at that. All right, and you'll notice that we're going to have the book there, but we will also have our characters that are going to give the students information while you are teaching with this. And we see that the first thing that the caterpillar is telling them to do is that they're going to use the pen tool. And if you have an interactive whiteboard, then you can use the tools that you have on that whiteboard. Or if you are using an LCD projector, then you could have the students come up and actually manipulate the mouse at your computer, or you could ask them, could someone go up and point at the screen and show me what we need to circle, because it's saying circle the title and put a box around the author. All right, so we would choose a color and we would circle the title, and then it tells us to put a box around the author. And this is what the caterpillar has instructed them to do. All right, now, if you didn't want the students to be able to see what the rabbit is going to have them do so that they are focusing on the first task, you can go over here to your framing tool, choose hide, and create a box that is going to cover the area that you don't want them to be able to look at yet. And then you have so to speak, forced focus here so that they are focusing only on what this one character is asking you all to do as you work through this book. And then when you're ready for them to see the rabbit, you just grab that box and move it up. And then whatever the rabbit is asking them to do, you would have them do that. Okay. All right, and if they are going to make a quick prediction, it says then we could actually use our text tool to create a box and put our prediction in there. Place whatever their prediction is right here in that box. Okay. All right, so let's turn the page, and we see that now you have a different book character, and now he is instructing them to use the text tool and the space above to make a list of places that you can find live fish. All right, so that tool has actually traveled with me until I go and grab another tool. That text tool has actually traveled with me. Okay, so you can begin to brainstorm for them what the students are telling you where you can find live fish. All right, and as you move through, each one of these characters is going to have them working on specific skills. And once again, that term shared reading is going to allow you to really hone them in on specifics in the book so that it's not only shared reading, but also you are looking very closely at the book as you go through it. All right, in addition to the 2 types of projectables that you have, you also, as we mentioned, will have a printable book for your students and your wonderful lesson plan. And there are a set of printable cards as well that include vocabulary cards. So let's just take a look at those briefly for this particular book. And we see that right here, one of the first is beak. And it's showing that it is a noun, and then it will give a definition of what that word is. All right, and the same here, bumpy. All right, and they have shown this picture of this bumpy toad. And as you move through, it's going to have these wonderful illustrations, or in this case, they are beautiful pictures to indicate what the vocabulary word is. And then you will have some blank cards as well. All right, now all of these materials that are here supporting this particular book in shared reading, you will note too that it's going to list out for you all of the lesson skills that are going to be touched on. And you will also have your video at the bottom that will show you how to put that single-sided book together if you choose to print off copies. And then if you want to add this particular resource to your file cabinet, you can click here, and it may be that you have created a folder already on shared reading, or it might be that you are working on a specific skill and you are going to be using that and housing it in a particular place. It might be that it's part of a week that you have planned out certain activities and you might want to save it in a given day. And, there are a variety of folders that you may have created over time in order to save this particular resource. And to do that, you would just choose a folder and you would add it to it, and then it will be in your file cabinet for you to retrieve. All right, so this is an overview of our shared reading resource. I hope that you are looking forward to utilizing this resource within your classroom. There are so many beautiful books within the 3 levels, fiction as well as nonfiction, that I'm sure you are going to enjoy it. And thank you very much for attending this webinar.